Welcome back. Today we are going to be flying out the new Mirage 2000 F5, and is it any different to the one we already have in the game if you are only going to play it in Araby? No. So if that's the only thing you care about, that's a wrap. I'll see you in the next one. But for the people that actually are here for some gameplay, the Mirage 2000 is definitely one of the more fun top tiers that you can find right now. I can't really say that the guns are really better than they were. I don't have any objective proof for this, so take it with a grain of salt, but in my experience, the guns have been hitting pretty hard. I've not been getting that many hits. It did happen on occasion. People stalled out, had to hit like 6 to 10 shells. But in general, if I were to hit something, they would at least give a crit, which is, in my experience, a lot better than it used to be. You of course have the Magic 2s, which are some of the best IR missiles in the game, but now with the Python 3s, they definitely aren't anymore. Despite that, they have good range, they have good pull. Just be careful in the head-ons. Of course, it's not very flare resistant, but it has a minimum arming range. So if you shoot it very close in the head-on, it will just zip past the other guy and is not even going to prime. So you basically need to direct impact him to kill them, otherwise you're not gonna, well, accomplish much. And then of course they are paired with two 530Ds, and this radar together with the missile is pretty damn nasty. It's very hard to notch, it's very hard to break the lock off, and you basically need to do it perfectly with chaff equipped. If you are not on the deck and you don't have chaff, I'm gonna tell you good luck with this missile. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. This guy is turning into us, and slowly but surely he notched us for a little bit, and the lock circle or the lock box didn't waver for a second. It simply does not care. These are not missiles you will dodge on accident very often, unless the enemy messed up the launch. The 530s are however not very quick, and it takes them a little bit to get up to operating speeds basically. And if they shoot it at very close range, they're pretty handy to dodge. If you are not paying attention to it, you're probably gonna have a little bit of an issue with it. So, a game. F-14 is being chased by an F-14. I magic him out of the air and we both RTB. And at this point of time, it's 2v5, I think it is. And they have, I think, two F-16s, a MiG-23, an F-14, and another F-16. So, the F-14 Phoenixes someone across the map. Good job, that's one down. He then takes down the F-14 of my team, and I'm gonna send the 530 his way. Because right now he's alone, I want to kill him as quickly as I can. He doesn't defend properly, and he eats the 530 directly to the cockpit. That is two of them gone, one of us gone. It's now 3v1. Definitely winnable, as long as I play my cards right, and if I use my 530 on the right target. There are two F-16s and a MiG-23. I don't need to use this missile on the MiG-23. I just want to take down one of the F-16s, and then when it becomes 1v2, I can hopefully do something. But it definitely depends on the way that they play this. And then I notice the F-16, I'm going to shoot a missile at him. I'm not going to stay too low at the start, because I want him to pitch up a little bit. I pitch down, the missiles both go into the ground, and we take down the enemy F-16. So now it's 2v1, I have two missiles left, all of my cannon rounds, and I have a good amount of fuel. Too much fuel actually, so I'm gonna be trying to full afterburn for a little bit to bleed my fuel a little bit. But there's the other F-16, he's coming directly at us, so we do the same thing again. We go very low to the ground, and all we have to do is make sure. So what do? We just rush straight in. This thing is pretty good at it. With the new flight model, it goes extremely quickly, and you are able to just kind of run it down sexual style, and you will be ripping at about 15-20, which is absolutely ridiculous. So acceleration isn't the best, however, at higher speeds, so don't expect to sit at it very comfortably, but you can do it nonetheless. If you're wondering why I'm sending it versus F-14, it's basically to drain him of all of his speed. I'm just gonna run away again towards my team, and this F-14 is absolutely dead in the water. As all of my team is around here, his team is nowhere to be found, and now he's going slow in an F-14, which basically means he is not going to be able to do much. And there he goes, killed by an R-13. I know there's a missile coming in, I don't really have the ability to lock onto him, so I'm just going to go defensive, dodge the missile by going low. This time it doesn't hit the ground and blows us up regardless. And essentially what happens is exactly this. I shoot the missile off and it doesn't even track. Right now it's tracking something else, so I go head on with him. I'm gonna try to get the radar on someone else, but I accidentally locked the guy on the right. The missile now has no idea what's going on anymore. I'm getting shot by missiles from 4 different directions, so I'm just gonna try to use this a little bit of a defilade. We dodge the missile, he does not. Then this F-14 kind of just parks ahead of us, and I think to myself I'm gonna try to get the shot in. but I'm not gonna chase him right now. There's too many people around. I'm not really keen on what happens if I start chasing him now. If I look behind me, there's a lot of red, not a lot of blue, and I want to win this game, which is what we are gonna try to accomplish. So everyone chasing kind of broke off. We have some breathing room. I'm just looking around because I was just kind of disoriented for a while, for a little bit. I'm just kind of rusty. I'm not as quick as I used to be. And right now I just can't keep track of 4 people at once. So I just wanted to get out of that furball for a little bit, put everything ahead of me again, and now I have the ability to reassess the situation. Who can we go for? The F4J reel is really not a priority, but he gets slammed by an AIM-7F anyway, so it's really not that much of an issue. And then I decide to go towards the F4S on the left here, because he's on the outskirts. He seems to be a little bit of an easier kill. And right now I want to dwindle the numbers down. I look behind me, I see 60,000 AIM-7Fs, or AIM-7Ms in this kind of case, being shot my way. I need to go defensive. It's not too hard from behind, but then an F-14 comes in from the right as well, so I'm gonna turn to the right. Make sure to notch him at the same time, while reversing the F-16. The F-16 decides to kiss a tree, and the F-14 now is behind me and pretty slow. So for now, I'm actually just going to get a little bit of separation. I don't want to get into a slow fight right now, because it just doesn't look like something that I would enjoy doing right now. Why? There's too many guys around here. I'm not about to go 300 with an F-14 and another F-16 around. I shoot a missile at the F-14. I'm not sure if he flared, I couldn't really see it. But the missile didn't track regardless, and the F-14 on the left gets taken down. So now it's only the F-14 on my right here and the F-16 ahead of us. For now, we successfully survived the situation. F-16 comes in, F-14 starts banking in as well, so I decide to go for the F-14 first. I don't have radar missiles anyway. Missiles coming in from the right, we go low, we flare and chaff a little bit, goes into the ground, we go up and over and see if we can do something. But I notice that he's going very, very slow, so I do not want to fight that right now. With the F-16 you need to get position early. If you don't, that fight is going to take absolutely forever if you don't die outright. F-16 goes RTB, F-14 comes back in, and I don't want to go too fast because I want to reverse this dude and get on him as quickly as I can, as I still have a little bit of energy. So you see that I'm throttle dropping, I then throttle back up, and I instantly start riding this guy's ass. So we lock him up in a second. He's afterburning, he's not too fast, he's pointing his engines directly at us, but unfortunately the F-14 in this case isn't actually hot enough. Right now I need to get some speed in, because I'm not going particularly fast, and there's a very big angle coming in here. A little bit of an unorthodox gameplay style that he has, kind of caught me off guard. Luckily he only glances us, and we are able to turn around and set him on fire. Nice fight, which probably should have had me, but I got guys into game before. Now it's your turn. Last guy, F-16 on the other side of this lake. I'm hiding behind the hill. I don't have any missiles left. This is after the F-14. I'm low on fuel, and I just want to get a little bit of a dogfight going. So we go head on with the F-16. Make sure it's not an AIM-9L. We drop the afterburner a little bit here to also again go slow, because I want to secure this fight quickly. I don't have much fuel, and it's an F-16. So I'm just kind of try to sit within this guy's turning circle. He can go raid fight right now and absolutely drain my balls, but luckily he keeps it into this little bit of a knife fight, and I'm able to predict his flight path and just kind of drift in behind him. Boom goes the dynamite, and we go into the next match. The next match is against the J-8B, and the J-8B is very similar in terms of dogfighting when it comes to something like the MiG-21 BIS. So what we want to do is drain this guy of energy. So this time I'm not actually gonna try to slow down too much. I'm just gonna try to pull this guy directly vertical. I want him to be somewhat slow, and due to the clouds here, it's gonna be very hard for him to get a stall shot. So I'm gonna try to make a bit of a ballsy approach here by going up over his nose. If the clouds weren't here, I would have played this differently, but I'm expecting him to try and pull up into this. He's gonna bleed out of his speed, and we just kind of go up once more, and it's kind of disorientating because of the clouds. But throughout this entire fight we can see the afterburner. That's exactly what we are following. He's pitching up right now, and because of that he sealed his fate by going straight up while being extremely slow. And this is one of those examples where the deathfires do absolutely nothing. But hey, at least it gave him the kill, and I didn't really get shafted. And for the last game, it's a little bit of a overwhelming game. We are on ultra low quality graphics, and this is mainly to show you that on ultra low quality you don't get a Mac cloud, which impacts the performance of your plane quite drastically. Not in a literal sense, but it makes it a lot easier to look around. It makes it a lot easier to shoot at people, and it just gives you a lot more awareness. So we go into that fight, we go straight in head on. They shoot some missiles at us, we go low to the deck, they do hit absolutely nothing. And now, well, we start engaging the guys that are close to us. And this time I actually have a squad mate around, so it's a little bit easier. And here comes missile number 2. So we go down to the deck, the magic does its thing. His missile does no thing, because well, we are low to the ground. And we want to get our speed back up now. We don't want to turn too much. But I also want to kind of help out my teammate, because he is an F16 with an F14 riding his ass, and we are only going 600. But I also want to make sure that my teammate stays alive, because then, well, you can actually try to help each other and carry the game. Because right now the game is looking pretty sour. The F14 actually breaks off from the F16, and now we are going to try to chase him to do 2 things. We need to fly into this direction to get away from all the people behind us, and I want to chase this F14 because he's giving us his ass. However, there's also a guy coming directly at us, so we have to go low again to dodge his missile, and that's exactly what we do. So we hug the ground, and we get the exact same thing as we have been doing this entire game. But then another guy shows up, and another guy shows up. So right now we have about 3 guys in front of us, 4 guys in front of us. We also have 2 or 3 guys behind us, and we are just completely boxed in. He's not low enough, he eats the 530 in the face. We dodge him by going to the ground as well. And we managed to go through the entire team without dying. The issue is there is again someone riding R6. There is just too many people to defend from. So we have one of them turning around behind us. He's definitely going to try and chase us. See a missile coming in from the top left. There's a guy right in front of us who is not going particularly quick. So we're going to try to actually take him down as he turns around. He does exactly that, so we shoot a missile at him. He actually perfectly notches us while chaffing directly as I fire, so I basically waste a missile. Luckily, the guns do actually kind of work, and we take him down that way. We are now only going 650, and we need to turn around, so we are going to lose even more energy. But there's just too many people. We're going to try to get as low as fast as possible, try to shoot as many guys before we get taken down ourselves. F16 eats dirt. Then we switch on over to the next closest guy, which is going to be this F4S. So we shoot a little burst and send him straight back to the hangar. But now we're only going 700. There's an F14 parked directly on our ass, and there is just nothing we can do anymore. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.